Previously, we looked at one-dimensional collisions when an object is moving either left or to the right. And momentum will be conserved in the horizontal direction, no matter whatever collision, before, during, after. But what if the ball can move up and down? That is what we call two-dimension. Such as this one. Okay, the lab, you can go play with this. If you haven't played with this simulation site, go try it out. It's like super fun. So two-dimension really means now you have to think about horizontal component and also vertical component, because the component momentum must be conserved in the horizontal as well as the vertical, both. So when you collide two things like this, it's going to move not in a straight line, but like everywhere. And it's kind of hard to do more calculations because now you have to do both the horizontal. Where's my horizontal? Look at all this. Wow, what this table is so complicated. Momentum in X, momentum in Y. It's kind of like throwback to projectile. You deal with the horizontal and vertical components separately, but momentum is still conserved before after collision. But maybe before we go to too many things moving, let's start off with something a bit more chill, less moving. So what you have here is the slow-mo guys once again. This time they're putting rubber bands around a poor watermelon. Look at the amount of rubber bands there. So what is the total momentum of the watermelon? 0, because it's just chilling there. You know, a watermelon on the table. Nobody's moving, right? No momentum. But suddenly something happens. An explosion. When you put too much watermelon bands on the watermelon, it starts to split. So let's see in slow motion. Crack. Splitting up. And slow-mo even more. And then it goes woo, and everybody flies in all directions. Some up, some down, some to the side, and it's just a glorious explosion. Do they reverse it? That'd be pretty cool. So now every single moving piece has its own momentum and is conserved in all directions, up, down, left, and right. Okay? So how do you think about explosions? Let's say you have a plate. We're going to simplify this a bit, okay? Two-dimension. We don't want to go to 3D watermelon explosion. That's a bit too much. A plate, a drop on the ground. You can try this at home. Unless it's your parents' precious plate. So, you know, I mean, be wise if you're trying experiments. So let's say you have a wholesome, nice, round plate where you put your food on it. You hold it up and you let go. It goes, whoo, and it flies apart. So the moment it hits the floor, that's when the explosion happens. Because remember, we're looking at explosions. Kind of like an explosion. So at this moment, the plate will crack. Let's say it cracks into 4 pieces. Crack, 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 crack. You hear the sounds. You hear the panic in your face when the plate breaks. And you're like, I am so dead. I just dropped a plate. Then, after that, with these 4 pieces, let's say they move in 4 different directions. The first piece on top, wait, why blue color one? The first piece moves up. The second piece moves to the left. Actually, I don't know. I'll give it numbers later. But basically, there's 4 pieces lah. So, let's give a horizontal. Okay, let's just give them numbers. So this will be M1, M2, M3, M4. So horizontally, one piece moves to the right with a certain velocity. One piece moves to the left with another velocity. Let's call this M4, sorry, M4. But, direction, my friends, we forgot to define our directions again. Let's draw in the top right corner. So, following our usual convention for axis, we want to define anything that moves to the right as positive, preferably anything that moves upwards as positive. Anything that moves down or to the left will be negative. So according to this convention, this plate will have positive V2, the other one negative V4. Okay, how about vertical? We have one going up. Let's call this V1. And since it's moving up, we give it a positive. So it will have a certain momentum upwards. The other one will be downwards. This is going to be negative. So this is V3, but negative because downwards. So all this up, down, left, right must be conserved. So how do we write out the conservation of momentum here? Let's go back to before anything happened in the first place. Okay. What is the total momentum? If you think about it, total momentum, nobody's moving, right? Nothing's moving. So total momentum vector is 0. That's initial, before anything happens. So let's put a PI. I for initial. You can break this momentum vector down into components and say that horizontally, Px, the total momentum is 0. Nobody is moving. Vertically, let's call that Py. The total momentum is also 0. Nobody is moving up or down. All 0. Then, during the collision, of course, a lot of forces are happening. I'm not going to draw all the forces. Then after that, we have some momentum going on here. How do we write out the equations for that? After collision, you can say that the total momentum in the horizontal can be added up by a few plates, which is the one moving to the left and the one moving to the right, because X is horizontal. So, I must break up into horizontal and vertical already. So horizontally, the momentum is going to be, let's do the V2 first. So M2 V2 plus the other one, which is negative M4 V4. Negative because it's moving to the left. So that's our total momentum in the horizontal. How about the vertical? We gotta write it separately. So now, if you want to check the vertical component, the total momentum in the vertical final. How to write F? Final Final after everything happened already. We have one moving up. Let's call that M1 V1. We have also one going down. So there will be negative M3 V3. Okay, so if you ever want to solve and apply your understanding of conservation of momentum, you have to remember that if momentum is conserved, we assume it is conserved, you're in a system, don't assume drag force, friction, air resistance, momentum is conserved. That means the total momentum initial equals to total momentum final. But this one got 2 dimensions, so we say, okay lah, the vector momentum is conserved. That means we have to break it down into components. So horizontally, number 1, horizontal, the total horizontal equals to, okay lah, no need to write already lah, it's the same thing. Initial equals to final. Initial, what is the total momentum? 0. Nobody is moving left or right. Okay, so we just write that 0 equals to, at the end, we have one moving to the left, one moving to the right, and we got this final momentum here. So we can just write out the whole thing. The total momentum after a collision or interaction, M4V4. We can rearrange this to say, at the end of the day, if it's an explosion, and this one is 0 in the beginning, then we can say that the plate that moves to the right, M2V2, will have exactly the same momentum as the plate or the piece that moves to the left. So this would be M4V4. This is one example of explosion. Don't forget, we have to do the same thing for vertical as well. So number 2, vertically, we gotta do the same thing. So before collision or interaction, got any vertical momentum? Add all together. 0. 0. Okay, so 0. After an interaction or collision, is there any momentum in the vertical? Yes, there is. There is one going up, one going down, right over there. So we're gonna write the plate going up is M1, right? So M1 V1 minus the one going down, because we're just copying this one here, M3 V3. You can rearrange the negative signs and you say, okay, in the end of the day, since it's an explosion, the total momentum upwards must equal to the total momentum downwards. Remember, we are resolving momentums. One last thing to add is that since we are thinking of 2-dimensional, we can start to use vector diagram to help us think about momentum already. So for example, Remember I mentioned just now the initial momentum is 0 and I threw an arrow there, which means in all direction. That must be the same as the final, where the total momentum after collision must equal to 0. Of course, we split into x and y lah. But miss, what if we want to stay in vector format? Can check Let's pretend we don't know vectors, okay? We haven't learned in maths. You can do it with a vector diagram because we have learned vectors before. So how do you show this one is 0? What you do is you can make momentum vectors, right? Up, down, left, right. By adding together vectors, you join them tip to tail. What does that mean? Okay, we draw it here. So let's see. Plate number 1 goes up like this. So let us say this is the momentum vector of plate number 1. I mean piece number 1. Add the second one, which is to the right. Okay, so tip to tail, you connect P2. I'm going to assume they all have the same momentum. That's why the arrow is the same length. But you must check, okay? P equals to MV. And you see how long the arrow should be. Plate number 3 is going downwards. So let's assume, again, the momentum is the same. So momentum of 3 is down. And lastly, momentum of 4 go to the left. This is momentum 4. And look, we come back to the exact same starting point. That tells me, is there a net force? No, not net force. Is there a net resultant vector? No, because you go one round, you come back to the same spot. Hence, what that means is that the total momentum, you add together all these vectors, you come back to the same spot, the resultant is 0. That's what it really means when you draw a vector diagram for momentum. Okay, so you can draw vector diagrams now. 2D already you can draw. Well, how about graphs then? If we were to draw a graph, where's my graph? Down here. Okay lah, let me move some things down a bit. Alright, if we were to draw the momentum graph, let's stay with momentum graph for all the components, horizontal and vertical, how would the graphs look like? Let's do Px, the horizontal component, on this first graph against time. And then we do Py, which is the vertical component, against time. Okay, let's start with the horizontal component. Who has horizontal component? Is there anything that happened? Oh, maybe let's add a time where the collision happens, or rather the interaction or explosion happens. So I'm going to add collision time, probably something like this. Okay, some short amount of time, and also for the vertical as well. 1, 2. A little bit sangit, but can lah. Okay, the first one. Who does not have horizontal velocity? Look at this. Mass 1 and mass 3. They both are moving up and down. There is no horizontal at all. So I'm going to start with those. Mass 1 literally has nothing, no change. Just chilling down here. Mass 3 also, no horizontal, no change, nothing. It's just non-existent. So I'm just going to draw them down there. This is going to be mass 1. Oops. And mass 3. Yeah, wrong color, but it's all green color, okay? So they don't have any horizontal component out. They are perfectly vertical. Now the ones where do have a horizontal component though is mass 2. This piece is going to the right. So it's going to have a positive, positive velocity and positive momentum after it's split. So before anything happened is 0. Let's draw a 0. Then you hit the thing, okay, then it suddenly increased to some kind of momentum moving to the right. So we can draw something like this. Yeah, you can round off the edges if you want to, but I'm just rounding this off. So this is the momentum of piece number 2. Oh, I should write momentum right instead of M. Okay, momentum of 1, momentum of 3. All right. What is the momentum of this fella? I don't know. MV lah. You will find M2V2. Some positive value because going to the right. The other piece, on the other hand, will go in the opposite direction but the same magnitude. So I'm going to try and draw same magnitude. This is going to be the momentum of 4 going exactly to the left. So it's equal and opposite momentum. So this is negative M4V4. So it's interesting, huh? In the beginning, everybody don't have no momentum at all. So this total momentum is just 0 here. Until the explosion happens, then there's a change. And of course, people move in different directions. Let's do the same thing for vertical. You can pause the video and try and see whether you can figure out how it looks like. But I'm going to do the one that does not have vertical component in the first place. Who do not have vertical? This one, M2 and M4 don't have vertical at all. They are fully horizontal. So I'm just going to no change. This is the momentum of 2. Momentum of 4 also no change. Just 0 all the way. Then comes plate number 1. The piece M1. At first, everybody is chilling. The moment the plate explodes, boom! You go up to some momentum here. And this is for plate 1. It's in the positive, by the way. Positive means upwards according to our definition here. So M1, V1. There's also one plate at first chilling. Chill. Suddenly, piang! Wow, it fly downwards. Ooh, this one is going to be plate number 3. And it goes to in the opposite direction. That's why it's negative M3, V3. So it's like makes the graph look the same almost. Well, almost. But you need to know that this is just called an explosion. So this is the total vertical is 0 in the beginning. After that, the total momentum here is also 0 because one is positive, one is negative. Add together, they should be 0 lah. So total x 0, total x also 0 after the explosion happened. So this is the after. Alright, so a reminder once again, throwback to projectile motion that we learned previously. The horizontal and vertical components, so usually we call them the x and y components, they don't affect each other. We treat them as separate because they are right angle apart. One is fully horizontal, one is fully vertical. So you're resolving everything. So x and y components are treated separately. Treated and calculated separately, and momentum is conserved separately as well. So momentum is conserved in the horizontal, momentum is conserved in the vertical as well. So Py equals to Py is initial, final, initial, final. That's the conclusion of the matter. So in the next few videos, we're going to look at some examples to practice this idea of splitting up in 2 dimensions, the horizontal and the vertical. So be sure to check those out, or at least try out those questions in the next few videos. If you need help, always check the video. But that's all for today. Just an idea of 2D. Okay, I'll see you in the next few videos.